Hi everyone, it's Robin from svgcoop.com with a training short. A couple people were asking how I cut pieces for my image, this image in particular, where the pieces would stay together and not separate, so that when I laid it down as a vinyl, it would lay down perfectly. So what I wanted to show you is when I design images, I will take pieces like, I'm going to pull out this light brown piece, and um, when I pull this out, you'll see on the side here that the pieces are stuck together, and that's because I turned the complete color into a compound path, and that will make it so that when it goes to cut on your machine, it will cut as a single piece. And usually I'll do that if the pieces are very small. Um, Especially if I pull out the faces here, I'm just going to go over to the right. I saved this as one piece because this was a big piece to lay down, and I thought it would be easier if I knew exactly where like this tiny little piece was going to go relative to his face. These are Yosemite's ear and nose, and it just helped me to lay everything down. I particularly like to do that um, when I'm working in the whites because of the eyes and stuff like that they're very small. So if you see that I pull this out, all of the white pieces are one cut. And it may seem like a waste of, say, if you're cutting it with vinyl, it might seem like a waste because you're not using all this space. But I will tell you that trying to lay this down individually, all these little pieces, and figure out, which nail goes where and, which little tiny piece goes where, it's much easier to just cut it this way and have it all laid down together. Now I will tell you that when I did do it, I'm going to just open up my Cricut here for a second. Um, I had to regroup it for someone. So when I went to go do it, I'm going to show you. Then I'm going to cut this here. My circles for my background, you can see they showed up as 3 different layers. So I didn't want to cut it that way because I only wanted to use a single piece of paper. So after I ended up cutting everything, I closed off all of the colors except for the red circles. And all you have to do that, to cut it all in one piece, is you can select the layers. Actually, I turned off all of the colors. For some reason it wouldn't let me just select it, but I'm just going to show you really quick how I did it. And this is, you can do this also with other colors, that are laid down on your view if you don't want them to move when you're cutting. So when I went to do the circles, the first time I did it, I ended up cutting into each other because I just didn't realize what I was doing. So if I select all of this now, I can go to Weld, and now when I go to the Go button, you can see it all will cut on one piece. So anytime you're working on an image, if there's a certain color, like small tiny pieces, you can select the layers with those tiny pieces, weld them together, and then when you go to cut, it'll cut as a single piece and not move all over the place. Alright, I hope that helped. This is another training short, and we'll be back with more tips and tricks.